What is up, everybody? It is Anthony DiFiglio, and today we're going to be checking out my new Jackson multi-scale H-string from Jackson Guitars. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Before I get into today's review, be sure to subscribe right down below, hit that notification bell, leave a comment if you'd like to see more reviews and comments like this as usual. Now, let's get into the review. So I've been on the lookout for a good first H-string that's like something I'm gonna keep for the rest of my life that will definitely, be history to me. And I laid my eyes on this Jackson multi-scale because it didn't completely break the bank, but it still had some good features, and I would like to talk about those features with you guys. So we have non-locking tuners, Jackson tuners on the headstock. We have a multi-scale design. I believe it's 26.5 on the high strings and 28 on the low. Correct me if I'm wrong. We also have Jackson blade pickups, a fixed bridge that is string through, one volume, one tone, and a three-way toggle, and a grayish trans black type finish. Although this video has been overdue for months on end now since I got this thing, and I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention earlier, I think it actually, I think it was meant to happen because I got to, get my feet wet with getting to know this instrument, and that way I could be fully transparent with you guys. So you guys are probably wondering what my experience with this guitar is, and what's it like in that matter. Well, the neck is actually very thin. I'm not sure what this type of neck is called, but it is a very comfortable playing neck. It's very it's very nice for extended range, and it doesn't feel like a bat. So that's good, at least for me. I like the multi-scale design. Whenever I play in standard or drop E on this thing, the low notes really ring out and resonate very well with this guitar. I also like, the overall QC is actually decent. I don't really have any complaints on the QC. I think it's really well made for the most part. And I say for the most part because I'll get to some cons with you guys later on, as usual. But I have to say, one thing I was actually worried about was the stock pickups. I didn't think I was going to like these pickups. I thought since they were Jackson branded, or with them being, just not aftermarket pickups, I thought they were going to be total crap. I did mention that when I got this H-string on that one video back in December, but I have to say that happens to actually not be the case whatsoever. They're actually decent pickups for not being a brand or a labels per se. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. I like that it has a three-way toggle, and of course the one volume, one tone. It's just a simple concept. And overall, and the fact that it also has offset dot inlays. I think that's a really cool modern touch, and I like that more and more guitars are doing that. So overall, I can't really complain in this regard. Now that we're, going through all the features and the things I do, like about the guitar overall, there's some things I do have to call out and I do have to point out for the sake of transparency. So I do want to mention that before I point anything out, I did buy this used on Guitar Center at the time, so I won't be taking any points off for this review for this, this blemish or this dent in the finish. That is not I don't think that represents the guitar brand new, because I mean, just because. But the one thing I do have to point out about this guitar is why would Jackson literally put a rosewood, like while constructing the fretboard, why wouldn't they just make the black of the headstock and the binding, like I like how they put the binding here, but why wouldn't they make the black go all the way to here with the truss rod covered? Aesthetically, I think it would look a lot more pleasing and it would make the guitar look less cheap than what it actually is. And I don't know, it's a little bit disappointing, but it's not a complete deal breaker because I could just put a fret wrap over it and it still looks like a cool guitar, either which way. But that's something, you know, to take into consideration. Another thing too, while I was playing this guitar, is when I try to get up the higher frets, I noticed that although this is carved out right here, on the back, it's not really, I don't know if you guys can see it with this camera, I'll try to shine the light here, but it's not really, there's not much of a bevel back here for me to get up, you know, to comfortably get up to the 23rd and 24th fret and do some of those complicated licks without like messing up or, you know, making sure I hit the notes properly. I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of difficult at times. And it's not the most comfortable when you get up there. And for a guitar that is called, you know, a soloist, that's meant for soloing, I don't think that should be there, you know? And with these two things, these two concerns, I don't want you guys to think that I am bashing Jackson guitars. I love Jackson guitars. I think they're an iconic brand in the rock and metal community. I mean, some of my favorite players have used Jackson. But these two things, for what this guitar costs at $1,050, I do think I need to be transparent with you guys to see what you are getting into, because I want you guys to, you know, be aware, you know, of whether you're willing to do with these things or not. So take these into consideration. So now that we went over kind of some of the specs and a little bit of detail about the guitar, I know what you guys are waiting for. Let's hear how it sounds. don't know about you guys, but based on those demos and based on my experience with playing this thing throughout the months, I actually think the tones from this guitar actually sound great. I don't think I have any complaints sound-wise. Some of you guys are probably asking, is this 8-string guitar worth $1,050? To be honest with you guys, for the sake of transparency, I don't know if I would pay $1,050 for this exact 8-string brand new. Used, I highly would, but I don't know if I would pay $1,050. I think brand new, I think for what you're getting, I think this guitar should cost about like maybe $850 to maybe $900 at the most. And that's just my personal opinion. I think for, this is an X Series Soloist, if that has to, do with the pricing and whatnot. And although the QC is good and I don't have any like, complaints about the playability. The playability is, is good and it is excellent for the most part. And I say for the most part because I just think, the higher fret access could be improved a lot. And I do think that is something that if Jackson's going to continue with the extended range of this exact series, I think they definitely need to put a bevel back here. And for $1,050, if I'm being completely also honest with you guys, I feel like although I don't mind the stock pickups, I recently did a cover with them and they sound good. Honestly, with the presets I've been using, they sound great. I do feel like at the same time you should get aftermarket pickups for how much this guitar retails for. And I do either that or you should get locking tuners of some sort. Not to mention, this guitar also does not come with a case, so do take that into consideration. But with all this being said and done, I will be giving this guitar an 8 out of 10 guitar picks. Why? Because it is a solid 8-string, and overall, even with the the cons that I did address here and there, I do still think this is a great buy if you are somebody who wants a good first 8-string, or you want something that's not going to completely break the bank, but you want to be able to hit those low notes and you want to also be able to solo comfortably on most of the high frets. I think it's a great buy. But do be aware, if you are mainly a solo player like me, you may want to take into consideration that you might have to do a slight modification with this right here, because it is very difficult on this guitar to be able to hit the 23rd and 24th fret. I'm not bashing this guitar, and I'm not bashing Jackson guitars as a brand by all means. I just want you guys to take all this into consideration and really know what you're getting yourself into. Overall, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe right down below, hit the bell, refer this to all your friends and share it. I'm Anthony DiFiglio, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.